Can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Where is the... Oh, I just love YouTube. All right, good deal. Oh my God, what a headache. You guys do not even want to know what I had to do just to get this thing working. Ugh. Thank you guys so much for joining. Looks like we got about 45 people in here, 54 people. I am ready to answer some questions. Come on, bring me what you got. And then later we'll talk about the latest fiasco with my video that YouTube decided to delete because they didn't approve of it. That's a whole nother ballgame right there. All right, define icky. Too loud? Not loud enough? Where do you want it? How about right there? We try that? Yes, Russell. Great question there. Let me pop that up real quick here. Is Hiram's boot CD still relevant in today's computers? Absolutely. I keep a copy of it right here on my desk. I use it all the time. It's fantastic. Okay, good. Good deal on the microphone. Now, I'm not sure what happened here. I think what I originally did, part of the reason this is all screwed up is because I did part of the design, which is janky, I know, on my laptop, and then I did that on my desktop, and then I set up the live stream on my laptop, and somehow all the keys and everything that you need, it's attached to the laptop. So I basically had to create a whole nother stream right here on the spot, and then it wouldn't, big nightmare. It's going to make me drink. Upload more, please. I would love that. I would absolutely love to do that. It's just one of those things where it's as time permits. I do have a full-time local job, so that takes up a lot of my time, and then trying to, negotiate YouTube and all of their craziness, it can get a little nutty. So I'm let's see. Okay, I was looking to see if this YouTube audio going in and out. All right, is anybody else having that problem? Okay. Interesting. That's interesting because it's the same microphone setup I use for all my regular broadcasts. I'm wondering if it maybe has to do with the live stream somehow. I don't know. Okay, thanks, Russell. I appreciate that. If you guys are having issues like collectively with the sound or the video or anything like that, please let me know because, again, I'm trying to get this all sorted out and I didn't know what happened, and it was literally last minute and I thought everything was ready to go, and this is what happens when you don't live stream in 3 years. Things like this happen. Sorry about that. I had it set up earlier where I could just click on a message and have it pop up on the screen, and I'm not sure why that's not working. But Cool. Thanks, Angel. I'm going to work on that a little bit because it's going to help me keep up with your questions a little bit better. Um, excuse me. Cool. All right, Large. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Um, cool. We got 128 or 68 live viewers in here. So that's fantastic. If you guys have questions, I am 100%. I am 3 years overdue. I've been answering so many comments on YouTube, and it's just, I really miss just engaging with you guys one-on-one. So if you have anything that you want to throw out there, definitely please restart or send those to me. And Carrie's on. Gonna change the channel? No, it's just, you just have to understand you don't have to stay on for 8 hours because, you know, we're not gonna do that. Trying to see if I can get to, because in OBS here, breathing deep, yeah. Hey, greetings from the Netherlands. That's a long way away, my friend. Long way away. But thank you for sure for stopping in. Let me mute this so that I can. Okay, cool. So restarted the live. Everything's working. Excellent. Yeah, Evan, you can hear me breathing deep because I'm old, and that's what happens. How did the appeal about the YouTube video? Oh, I guess we're going to jump right into that. So for you guys who don't know, basically what happened is I uploaded a video, and the video was, and this was just a few days ago, and the video was basically how to get older ISO images, Windows XP, Windows 7, 8, and so on. And specifically, hang on. I did that because I have an old Toshiba laptop here that has Windows 7 on it. Now, I've got all the original ISO images and CDs and all that stuff from 100 years ago. But I realized that a lot of you might have an old Windows 7 machine, and as long as it's working great, you're fine. But what happens when it stops working? And at that point, you might need to reinstall Windows 7. Well, that's fine, except Windows 7, Windows 8, all those older, technically older than Windows 10, all those operating systems are no longer available for free from Microsoft. Now, that being said, normally you could just go to Microsoft and use either the, just download the ISO image and load it into Rufus, or use a media creation tool or whatever and create an installer disk, which I've made videos about that many, many times on my channel. But the problem is once they pull those ISO or image files off their server, the average person doesn't have a way to reinstall Windows. And I've reached out to Microsoft about this, and of course, no response. Big shocker. But what my argument was is you being Microsoft, supplied this operating system originally on this computer that I bought. So I am using a purchased or a licensed version of Windows on an old computer, and now I need to reinstall it. So you should be supplying me the operating system. In other words, the image or the installer file. But if you are no longer doing that, I have to legally be able to go get the software. So there's a handful of other websites out there, 3 specifically locations that I was telling people about. And YouTube, the video was doing great, about almost 7,000 views in about 12 hours. And because there's a lot of people out there that are wanting to legitimately go and get that ISO image and create an installer disk, which is perfectly acceptable from Microsoft's standpoint. Well, I guess that depends on who you ask, but we'll get to that. Anyway, YouTube took that video offline, claiming that I was showing people how to get software for free that they would normally have to pay for. Now that's the fine print issue for me, because you don't technically pay for Microsoft. You are licensed through that certificate of authenticity on the back of the computer. You are licensed to use that software. You pay for a computer and you get basically a complimentary license. In other words, you don't pay for Windows. So if you don't pay for Windows, how can I be showing you how to go get something that you would normally have to pay for? And I went round and round and round, and basically, yeah, Kit, exactly. They basically just said I was showing people how to illegally download stuff. Now, that being said, I could have probably worked out that part of the issue, explaining to them Microsoft's standpoint on that you're not buying a Windows license, you get a license with a new computer. It's called an OEM license. And I think part of the problem is at the end of the video, I recommended that people definitely do not go and download a torrented version of Windows. And in the background, I showed a list of, Windows 7, here's 16 pages of Windows 7 ISOs, and this is why you don't do it, because it's potentially dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. And I don't, the problem was it was a 24-minute video. YouTube just said, you violated community guidelines. They didn't tell me at this moment in time, for example, the part where I showed a torrent page, they said, this part is a violation, or the 3 alternative methods to download an ISO is a violation. They didn't say any of that. All they said was the video as a whole was a violation. So I went round and round and round and round. Basically, I think I lost the argument because they've already told me the appeal was denied, blah, blah, blah. And, so at this point, I guess what I'm going to do, since I still have the original video, and I know that a lot of people would really find it useful, is I'm going to just put it up on Rumble. And I'm not advocating Rumble. A friend of mine actually recommended I try it. And I was like, well, sure, I can, make several streams of income. That's great. Well, I took a video that I had 1 million views on YouTube and I put it on Rumble, and I think I may have like 19 views. So at this point I was like, how about we just not talk about downloading anything that isn't available on the Microsoft server. And I'm sure I'll be able to work around that, but I may just kind of steer clear of that, at least until my channel warning in September goes away. So, Douglas, you mentioned Zero Patch. Now, I did talk about that in my Windows 10 video, I believe. And again, I'm going to probably be okay to discuss it here a little bit, but technically it is a hack. Now, between you, me, and the fence post, if you want to use it, I can't condone it or not condone it. I mean, we probably all downloaded and used stuff that we probably shouldn't have. I have heard good things about it. I'll just leave it at that, because the last thing I need is another channel strike. So anyway, let me see if I can get to some of these questions real quick. Hopefully that answers the question about the whole drama regarding the older Windows operating systems. So let's see. Russell, using Ventoy. I assume you mean Ventoy to make a USB bootable. Are we talking about the same thing? Because I did make a video about that a while back. And Ventoy is great because you can load up a ton of ISO images, and everything from Linux to every version of Windows imaginable if you have those ISO images. So let's see. Scott, PC got stuck in a boot loop. Hang on, got stuck in a boot loop. One way I could fix it was installing Windows 11 again. Now I have 2 operating systems. The second one I installed works fine, but how do I remove the old one? You probably will have a windows.old folder on your C drive. That's pretty common, especially when you go from one operating system to the other, or there's a major feature update. I would wait 30 days to make sure. But then after that, that Windows.old should go away. And you can also go into your, oh gosh, what's it called? MS, let's see, hang on, MS config. If you go to your start button or your search bar and you go to MS config and go to boot, the boot tab will list all the operating systems that are there. You can select that second operating system and just remove it so you don't even see it, and Windows should just go straight into the updated version. So hopefully that answers that question. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, 80s PC with MS-DOS. Yeah, that's pretty old. I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to upgrade that one. Haven't seen people talk about going outside of Google. Let's see. XMP. Yeah, Rhonda, sorry about that. They literally, the video was up for about 12 hours and then just vanished. So I don't know. I don't know what caused that. And unfortunately, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to try this real quick, guys. I want to try something. If you'll just be patient with me, I want to try to get this pop-up thing again to work so I can put your messages on the screen. And I think the reason it didn't work before is because it's for a different stream. So just give me a minute, please, and I should be able to tackle those questions a heck of a lot easier real quick. Let's see. Oh, I got to figure out where I'm at here. Okay. Okay. You know, at this rate, I may need that tequila way before 4 o'clock, so we're going to see how that goes. All right, I'll go here, YouTube URL, connect. And all right, we're going to wait to see what happens here. I was wondering how long it was going to take for somebody brought up Linux. Okay, let's see. Angel, what do I think about a NAS? I actually have a Synology DS923 Plus. I actually made a video about it a while back, and I absolutely love it. It is just fantastic. It's great because as I'm working on stuff, it just automatically uploads to the server, and it's nice when I'm going from one side of the, like a laptop on the other side of the house to the desktop. I can just upload stuff right there, and it's right there. They're a little pricey, but the ability to access data from anywhere in the world is kind of great. So I love my NAS. Let's see. I'm trying to tackle these questions as soon as I can see them. My Rumble name is Ask Your Computer Guy. So you should be able to find it there. And I will probably put a link in the description of this video. I'm not so sure. I'm pretty sure YouTube's not going to give me any grief over that, but because people do that all the time. So, but if you just want to be 100% sure, because I'm not sure I'm actually going to do that, but if you want to be 100% sure, just email me, askyourcomputerguy@gmail.com, and just put Rumble link in the description or in the subject line, and I'll just email it to you. Trying to get this chat thing to work here, and this is just driving me crazy. Okay. All right. Full format on an external hard drive and running 3 hours, only done 5% to the left, it says online. If you're doing a full format and not a quick format, that will happen. Quick format just basically overwrites the first few sectors with zeros, and then everything else is still there. The full format will literally go sector by sector by sector, so it's going to take a while. Yeah, Kit, you're absolutely right. Ventoy is an amazing godsend. I love it. Terminator, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. After I finish notes, and okay. Why is this? Just love YouTube. Okay. Stream settings. Okay, stream URL. See if this widget will start working. Okay. Let me go back here to the questions if I can. What do you think of a new start menu for Windows 11 that will be rolling out soon? You know, Eric, I saw Rich's video about that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. It's anything's better than the default Windows 11 start menu, but you know, there's also other tools too. I think classic menu or classic start shell or something like that. Those generally will work too. Obviously, if it's a Windows or a Windows feature that you can turn on and off, probably better than a third party. So I'm hoping that Microsoft actually makes it worthwhile. Hey Charlie, how's it going, buddy? Thanks for stopping in. Terminator, who sells product keys? I actually have a sponsor, KeysFan, in not my last, I think one of my last videos. If you go in the description there, you can get OEM product keys cheap. As you're a viewer of mine, they have discounts in there for you, so check those out. And if you need it, if you're not sure, if you can't find it, just email me. I'll send you the link to it. SES17, thank you for the Win 11 upgrade video. Took my 2013 Dell up to 11 Pro. That is awesome. That is 100% why I made that video, because there was a lot of people out there who had a perfectly working Windows 10 computer, and they were, you know, feeling like they had to go buy another one, and that's just, yeah, I just don't agree with that. Microsoft's hold on people's pocketbooks was just, I had to do something about it. So I'm glad that that worked out for you. Coop, as far as the Linux question, I'm not the expert. There are maybe a few people in here. There usually is. Autodesk and Linux, I can't help you there, but hopefully somebody will be able to. Kennedy, cool. You also got upgraded to Windows 11. That's fantastic. Russell, I think I saw your follow-up on there. Rumble channels, ask your computer guy. Same thing. Paul, would there be any issues upgrading to Windows 11 on a dual boot system using Grub 2? Not that I can see, as long as, I assume you mean like if you currently have like Linux on one and Windows 10 on the other, upgrading the Windows 10. Haven't done it yet, so make sure you back your stuff up because it is a Microsoft thing and you just never know. So Ron Hilton, Windows, this is interesting. I've seen this before. Windows 10 performed an update the other day, and after it rebooted, my icons were on my secondary screen and not my primary screen. Have seen that before. Usually that happens as a result of a driver update, and then your primary one screen is now over here, and your secondary screen is now over here, and so it thinks that the icons go over here. You just generally need to go into your display adapter settings, whether it's Intel or AMD or whatever, and then just figure out, okay, like first of all, identify which monitor is which, and then say, this is my primary, and then that should move all your icons back to that main screen. Let's see, Mountaineer, let me see if I can go see. Okay, I see port, okay. I've used TronScript recently, but after it finished, I've noticed that my whole Windows 11 UI got changed and DISM source was basically gone, even using ISO files. So, regarding TronScript, because that is one of the most talked about things on my channel, TronScript, a lot of people would just go get it just to run it. And it is a last resort tool. If you have problems on your computer already, some you may not even know about, TronScript can fix a lot of that, but if you've got Windows corruption, it can only do so much. If it's, you have to, you found malware after the restore using Windows Defender. Okay, well, first of all, you need to define malware, because a lot of malware notifications are not malware. They're what's called PUPs, potentially unwanted programs. I recommend several programs on my videos. For example, DriverMax, perfect example. I've used that for years. And if Kerry's on here right now, he's probably throwing something at the screen. But the fact of the matter is because it flags as a potentially unwanted program, but it's because it does system utilities. It can change drivers. It can make changes to system settings. Therefore, it's potentially. So when you say it's malware, make sure that it is in fact malware and not just something that your antivirus or Malwarebytes flagged as potentially unwanted. And I'm concerned about how the system is running after that. So if you can update me on that. Let's see, let me scroll back down. I did not expect this many people watching, so thank you guys so much. Yeah, after getting a little butthurt over that last video fiasco, I was like, I had to go online because I was like, my wife was like, quit venting to me. I know you're stressed and stop drinking tequila. It'll be fine. So, let's see, create a restore point. Feel like I missed something here. Ron, no, I like I said, I posted a couple videos to Rumble after my friend who is a Rumble fanatic was like, oh, you could just put all your stuff on Rumble and you'll make twice as much money. I'm like, no, I haven't made a dime off of Rumble. Haven't gotten any views. And I was like, yeah, it's just not my thing. But we'll see. I might start putting stuff there, especially the stuff that's maybe a little too controversial for YouTube. I thought about doing a Patreon too, or like a members only kind of thing where I could post whatever I wanted, all the MFs and Bs and all the tequila, and it doesn't matter if there is no community guidelines on Patreon because you're paying for that. Haven't done it yet, so but stay tuned. The Ear Drafter, thank you, Scott. Always learning from you. Hey, listen, I appreciate that. That's why I do what I do. I just want to educate people, and I don't always get it right, but I'm always learning too. So be patient with me. I'll be patient with you. Okay. Connor Dunaway, do you think there will be a Windows 12? Probably not. But at the same time, how many times can they update Windows 11 and keep calling it Windows 11? I mean, if it gets to 2032, are they going to keep calling it Windows 11? I don't know. I do know that if they do release Windows 12 and it's basically the same as what we got when we went from Windows 10 to Windows 11, I'm not going to be impressed because that was mostly cosmetic. So, I don't know. Be interesting though. Carl, thanks for the Flyby 11 update video. Successfully updated both of my older Windows 10 PCs. In my opinion, Windows 11 works smoother than Windows 10. You know, I kind of feel the same way. My main machine is a Windows 10. Used it that way for years. Loved it. Still love Windows 10. But I figured I had to, kind of get current with the times. So I just went ahead and bit the bullet and upgraded it to 11. And actually, the more I won't say I love it, but the more I use it, the more I kind of like it. Would I go back to Windows 10 if I knew it could be fully supported? Yeah, probably. It's kind of that Windows 7 mentality. It's like, this thing was stable. It just worked well. I didn't have any issues, but I'm learning to like it a little bit. Gil Garcia, how do you feel about Linux being put on a Windows machine? Good question. And I think for a lot of people out there who are tired of Windows and you want to give it a try, I say go for it. As long as you understand, this is, as long as you understand that it's going to be wiped and you got your data backed up and you want to give it a try, I say go for it. A lot of people switch to Linux and they never look back. And honestly, I don't blame them. For the average person, Linux is a good operating system. It's stable. It does what it's supposed to do. It doesn't, it's not like Microsoft breathing updates down your throat and constantly blue screening. I mean, Linux for the average user is probably a good alternative. Problem is there's a lot of people like me who have so much money invested in Windows software and been using Windows for 30 plus years. I don't see a world where I could practically do that. I'm not a gamer, so probably wouldn't be a big deal in that regard. But, one of these days, matter of fact, that old Windows 7 machine, I was actually contemplating on making a video about putting Linux on old hardware, and that was actually going to be my test bed. So maybe we'll do that. I don't know. Let me see what else we got. Chat GPT alternative. Oh God. There are a billion of them out there. I can't even think of maybe Mid-Journey. It really depends on what you're trying to do. I think Marquez Brownlee was talking a while back about Dolly and all the new enhancements with that, but I don't really use Chat GPT, so I really can't recommend anything in there. Let's see. Anthony Brown. I keep getting a cmd.exe or cmd.exe error popping up on my PC all the time. What is that? That means that something is running a command while you're using your computer. Now, it's pretty normal when you start your computer. A lot of programs will run, hidden commands that'll pop up and disappear or whatever, depending on the program. If that's happening during your normal usage, could very well be you've got some kind of malware or some kind of infection. So I would definitely check your startup items to see what's running and start removing things that you know that you don't need or that you're not 100% familiar with. Or if it says command or CMD or whatever, that could possibly be part of the problem. And definitely scan with malware bytes or your antivirus program to see what that could be. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to keep up. I didn't realize how many people were going to be in here. I'm trying to keep up with the comments here. Let's see. Cool. Can't see me. Hi, new subscriber here. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I want to thank you very much for the walkthrough of converting a drive from MBR to support Windows 11. I'll be doing that this weekend. Awesome. Fingers crossed for you. Gemini. Yeah, Kit. Thank you, Kit, for that. I appreciate that. I was trying to remember the word. I don't remember what it was. But Gemini, is that free now? I've heard a lot about it, but I don't know if it's free. Brenda, successfully updated to Windows 11 on my 2015 Lenovo IdeaPad 300. It is running great. Thanks for instruction on installing Windows 11 with CPU qualification, not originally qualified. Brenda, that is fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that. Okay. What got me interested in IT? Okay. So, all right. It's a tiny bit of it's not really a long story, but it explains how I became really into computers. When I was in the military, and some of you original old folks will appreciate this. When I was in the military, we got a whole like a whole squadron full of brand new 486 SX computers, and they were top of the line, $3,000-$4,000 a piece. We got them for our squadron, and our job was to take all the stuff out of these boxes and set them up with these big bulky monitors and all that. And instead of doing that, I took it out of the box and got a screwdriver and took it apart, and just started disassembling the thing. Well, my my boss, he walks in the door and his face goes white, and he's like, "Oh my God," because all he's looking at is you just destroyed a $4,000 computer. So he just said, "I'm going to lunch, and when I get back, this would all better be cleaned up." If you've ever seen Shawshank Redemption, you remember that part where he gets all the books and he goes, "I'm going into the bathroom, and when I get back, I want this gone." It's kind of like that. So my boss goes to lunch, comes back. I immediately start putting the computer back together, put it on a desk, put the monitor on it, plugged everything in, turned it on, fired right up. And at that point, I was kind of hooked. I was like, that was fun. And that's not what I did in the military. I built guidance systems and things like that, high-end electronics, but that started putting the bug in me. And so I just started learning and went up the ladder from there. So that's the real short version of it. So, did you see the Austin Evans video of him creating an AI version of himself, tricking his friends? Crazy realistic. I wouldn't have noticed the difference. Luke, that's interesting because I've seen several other creators who have started their video with an AI version of themselves, and I'm looking at him like, maybe he needs some more color, maybe he needs to go out, vacation, whatever. It turns out it was AI, and I was like, that's mind blowing. It's really mind blowing. Bernice, you're welcome. Sorry it took so long to get this stupid thing up and running, but I've learned some lessons for next time. None of my pop-ups are working. I'm supposed to be getting subscriber alerts and things like that. So I don't know what happened, but I will not make that. Well, hopefully, if I survive this one and we do another one, I'll know what to do different. So let's see. Oh yeah, Kit, good point too about the Linux live distributions. Matter of fact, there's a what is it called? Distro C, DISTROSEA.com. I made a video about it, as a matter of fact, where you can go to this website, pick a Linux distro out of like hundreds, and click it, and basically you start a virtual session, and in that virtual session you can basically use Linux. Now you could do a live, you could run it off a flash drive or whatever, but before you even do that and you're trying to figure out which version you might want, I would definitely recommend checking out that, because then you can say, okay, well, do I want Linux, Mint, Cinnamon, Zorin OS, Pop OS, or Ubuntu, any of these other ones, kind of give you an idea of the feel of it, the flavor of it, because each distro kind of does something. It's geared towards something different. One may be geared towards gaming, one may be geared towards business applications and things like that. So distrocSEA.com, if you just want to poke around and kind of learn it or play with it and see if you like it, because I'd sure hate for you to decide that somebody here said, just use Linux, you idiot, and then you go do it, and then now you're stuck. So at least you'll have an idea if it's going to work for what you need. Yasser Salman, thank you for your videos. The one about Ventoy was a great one, and it personally helped me a lot. Your other videos and YouTube channel overall are great too. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. It's been a long road, but somebody asked me the other day, they goes, what's your next milestone? I said, one more subscriber. Seriously, that's it. Just trying to make a difference every day. So I hope that there's enough people out there that recognize the value of what I do and the stuff that I explain for predominantly novice users, that they actually get some benefit from it. Let's see. Elia, I got a new laptop in 2023. It was slow because it had a hard drive in it, HHD, mechanical drive. I cloned my Windows to an SSD, super fast now thanks to you, but why does new laptop still ship with HDD? Cost. Simply put. I mean, they can, if they ship it with a mechanical drive instead of an SSD, they can sell it at a really high discount because nobody really wants hard disks anymore. They want SSD, they want that speed. So a laptop that, like, for example, would normally be $299 with an SSD might be $229 with a HDD, and your average grandma's going to Walmart and buying a computer. She's not going to know any different. That's really the only reason. And it could be overstock. I mean, they probably buy a billion of those things, and now that SSD is the standard, I don't know anybody that would want an HDD, except certainly not for their primary drive. As an example, I've got two M.2 drives in my computer for speed, but I have a handful of mechanical drives in my computer and in my drive reader that are just for archival purposes. It's stuff to get it off my computer, and I don't care about the speed, but I need the reliability of a hard disk versus a SSD drive. Because SSD drives are great until they stop working, and then boom, gone. So that's another reason why using SSD, it's so important to back up. Let's see what we got here. Okay, Ammo, great question. If I use a boot USB to get Windows 11, do I need to buy Windows 11 activation code? Okay, I assume your existing computer is Windows 10, okay? If it's older than 10, you're probably going to run into a problem. But if you're using Windows 10, no, you don't need a new activation code. Your Windows 10 product key is digitally stored on your motherboard in your BIOS. So you can go from 10 to 11. You don't even need to reactivate it. And consequently, if you go to 11 and you decide, I don't like it, I want to go back to 10, you can roll back to 10. The standard is 10 days. There's a way around that. But you have 10 days basically to roll back to Windows 10 with no data loss. You don't have to reactivate or anything like that. You do not need a product key. If you go from something like Windows 7, Windows 8, and you're able to get Windows 11, then you probably will need to buy, at minimum, an OEM key that matches your brand. So, for example, if you have a Dell, you would need to go buy a Dell OEM key. But generally, if you got an older operating system like that, probably stay away from it. If you're going from 10 to 11, you got nothing to worry about. Let's see. Chuck PC, don't hide your older gaming mind. Duke Nukem, dude. Duke Nukem, Wolfenstein. Oh my God, I can't even. I can't even remember. There's like so many of those old silly games that were just crazy awesome back in the day. I spent so much time on Wolfenstein. I'm almost afraid to admit that, but. Let's see. Oh, Kit. Sorry, my wonderful moderators in here. They're actually doing their job, is helping me out. So, if I'm going through the questions as I'm seeing them, not as they currently are. Hopefully, I'll get current here in a second. But if I answer a question that somebody's already answered, please forgive me. Normally, I'd have my stupid chat thing working where I could see them popping up in real time, but that's not working. Darren, thanks for the Flyby 11 update video. Could not see my hard drives. Try putting one by one. Hopefully you clarify that question, because or if you haven't, please do, because I'd like to answer that if I can. Master of Magic. Oh, goodness. Luke Filewalker, by the way, coolest handle on YouTube today. Love that one. Thank you for your helpful videos. Love the live streams with you and Carrie. Carrie's much more entertaining than I am. He certainly has a much bigger bladder than I do. I have the bladder of a small kitten. Kerry can talk for 8 hours without leaving his desk. I'm jealous, but yeah, thank you. So I assume you probably came or found me through that stream we did with Kerry. That was a lot of fun. So thanks for the compliment. I appreciate that. Let's see. Boy, I haven't done this much reading in a long time. You guys are killing me here. Anthony, no problem, man. Glad to help. Yeah, R1, that was exactly it. It's put this bleeping thing back together, or you're going to get, Article 15, and you're going to end up in the CO's office by the end of the day. So thank God it all worked. I didn't know anything about ESD, static electricity, any of that stuff, but it was a little scary. Cajun Lightning, work with our 386 computers in 92, U.S. Marine Corps. Hey, thank you for your service, my friend. I appreciate that, and I'm glad you can kind of relate that story. Guess what? My bride is bringing me some Go Juice. My first PC was a Timex Sinclair. Okay. That's good. Ammo. My laptop's less than 1 year old, but the battery life is 4 hours instead of 21 hours. I have all the power efficiency options, and I've done research and made changes, but even with almost no data. Yeah, that's sometimes misleading when these manufacturers say up to 18, 19, 21 hours. Yeah, if it sits there and does nothing, it will last 21 hours. Maybe. But what they don't tell you is how long will it last if you actually use it? Just opening a website or whatever. Anything that requires access yeah, hang on. Come on. Anything that requires, you accessing a hard drive or anything like that is going to eat up resources. So, all right. Hopefully, I'm almost caught up. No, I'm not caught up. I'm not even close. Thank you, baby. So, guys, thanks for your patience. And, now we can get this stream started. So let's see. Help, JS says, I hope I can't turn off safe or secure boot on my Minisforum UM790 Pro in order to install Linux. I have not seen a computer that does not allow you to disable secure boot. Considering it is a Minisforum, our good friend Kerry Holtzman is pretty familiar with those. I would probably reach out to him and see if maybe he knows more about it. But I've never seen it to where you can't turn it off, because that's the whole purpose of you being able to switch it from UEFI to standard BIOS or legacy or secure boot or not secure boot. That's, I don't know. Ron Hilton, first computer was a used Commodore 64. Then I bought a used 286 motherboard from a staff sergeant and built my first computer. Yeah, I feel that. Well, that's kind of what worked for me. I had to find the cheapest computer I could find, which at the time was way expensive. And also, thank you for your service, Ron. I appreciate that. Karen started on a word processor green screen. You remember those paper, the dot matrix with the green and the white and the spreadsheet paper? Yeah. Ooh. Hey, Kit, let's talk about those comments, because I'd really like to know about a few of them. Some people just can't accept free stuff. I don't know what it is. All right, Luke, few tech tubers are recommending Windows 11 LTSC versions, basically enterprise versions, so that security updates last longer, plus it takes bloatware for gamewares. What is my take on this? Great question. I actually addressed that in a previous video's comments or question and answer at the end, but here's what I'll tell you. A lot of people are under the misconception that they can go from a Windows 10 or a Windows 11 Home or Pro edition, even an educational edition, and install this Windows 10 LTSC, okay, which LTSC stands for long-term servicing channel. If any of you have ever worked at a big corporation where there's hundreds, thousands of computers, chances are those computers have what's known as LTSC versions of Windows. And those computers require VLK, volume license keys. Okay, your Windows Home and Pro key that came with your computer will not activate a Windows 10 LTSC or IoT enterprise version. You will have to go and buy a specific volume license key. And I would be a little cautious if you go hunting for volume license keys, because even though it's not illegal for someone to sell their license key, a lot of these big resellers just buy keys in bulk without verifying the source, and sometimes you can end up with a key that doesn't work. And yeah, a lot of people are like, well, I need LTSC because it guarantees me Windows updates, or guarantees me support until 2032 or 2026 to 2032, depending on which version. But the problem with that is that I think I want to say that the last version that LTSC will support for Windows 10 is 21H2. 22H2 maybe, but pretty sure it stops at one of those. So you're not going to, you might get minor updates. You'll definitely get driver updates and security updates, but you're not going to get any feature updates. So I would just do your homework on that, and don't think that going with that LTSC, because I know several people who have literally taken somebody's advice, who come in my comments and say, get the LTSC version. They go out and get it off some random website. They wipe their existing computer, put that on there, and then they go, why can't I activate it? I'm like, because you did that. So just be cautious of it. And if a tech YouTuber is recommending that, I'm not saying you have to watch me, but I don't necessarily think that they're giving you good quality information. I'm going to give you the straight up truth, whether benefits me or not. I wouldn't do it. Now, that being said, if you have a volume license key, like I had a comment today, somebody reached out because I was like, well, you can't upgrade Home and Pro. He goes, no. This machine I got from work, and it came with Windows 10 LTSC. I was like, cool, well, then just use it. But I wouldn't go out and get it on the off chance that it's just going to give you updates forever, because it's just not a good idea. I wouldn't do it. Let's see. Swiftwind, thanks for helping regarding Windows 10 to 11, just getting out of Windows in general. You're welcome. I appreciate that. Christy, a painter's daughter. Very interesting handle. My computer interest started with these big clunky things we had to load up with the printers with paper, the old type, both in large suitcases with foam. Exactly. We had to cart out to our cars each week. Should have gotten hazard pay, because those things were probably not light. Let's see what we got. Derek Baker. Let's see, where did you say here? I just lost it. I bought an iPad locked to the previous owner. That's not necessarily a bad thing if you know the previous owner. I've done that several times where somebody basically said, here, just take it. I don't want it anymore. I'm like, well, I kind of need your activation information, or at least an email, and you sitting right here with your phone so I can get and bypass it. But yeah, iPads, I don't generally, I have one. I don't mess with it. I generally don't mess with other people's. Okay, Michael Lund, I'm still confused. TPM is supposed to protect my data from being stolen or misused. What if my motherboard breaks and I want to use my data on a new computer? Well, TPM it's my understanding. It doesn't actually, that's where you're talking more like BitLocker does that. TPM is just a security module, so you should be, I would definitely make sure that you don't have BitLocker enabled, and if you do, make sure you have that 48-digit key, because if that happens, your hard drive will go BitLocker on you, and you need to enter that key. But if you enter the key, it shouldn't matter once you swap the board, I think. Oh gosh. Wolfenstein, Rise of the Triad, Hexen, Quake. Oh, Quake. Oh, I forgot about Quake. Oh, gosh. Man, now I'm really feeling old. Started with time sharing. Okay, K McCabe, I think, might win OG of the day, talking about using a punch hole card reader. That's, uh, let's see. Jim, I don't know how long ago your comment was, but 45 minutes late, you might have been right on time considering that it took forever to get this stream going. Tony D, hello. Why is it that things that I did on Windows 7 don't seem to work on Windows 10 and 11? Just, it's different operating system. They're pretty much the same at the core, but you know, we don't know what Microsoft changes. I mean, there's a lot of people that run stuff on Windows 11 or run stuff on 10 that when they upgrade to 11, it doesn't work. You know, there's a lot of reason people loved Windows 7 because it just seemed like everything worked on Windows 7. I miss Windows 7. Edward, my laptop battery keeps losing charge quickly when it is totally shut down. It seems like I've tried everything to alleviate that, but nothing works. Any insight? If this is a recent problem and you're not really using the laptop differently than you normally do, I would suspect maybe you got a bad battery. I assume that if it's staying plugged in that you don't have any power problems. But yeah, I would suspect battery. Batteries they don't last as long as they used to. Let's see. Can't see me. Thanks for being you. Well, thanks for being you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys being so patient with me today. I literally haven't had a chance to breathe because your comments are great. I love them, and I'm going to try to get to as many as possible. Mo, thanks for answering my questions. Never regretted subbing to you. Hey, listen, man, that means so much to me. I don't know if you saw in the original thumbnail, which ended up being the wrong stream that started this whole mess, but the last time I live streamed, I had less than 1,500 subscribers, and I just hit 229,000. And so, you know, it's you guys. You guys keep my comments full. I try to answer as many as I can, but I mean, for every one I answer, there's 3 more that come in, and I do my best to try to get videos out to you at least every 7 to 10 days. Sometimes I take some time off with family and whatever, but that's generally what you can expect of me. And honestly, if live streams, Kerry Holtzman, which I know a lot of you probably know, we got to talking about it because he live streams like 9 days a week, and he ironically does it because he hates to edit, which is arguably my least favorite thing ever. But it got me thinking. I was like, man, I really miss that stream. I just love the interaction. It's so much different than just replying to a comment and hoping that that's a good enough answer. This is actually legitimately me talking to my people, and you guys have helped build my channel to where it's at. And I'm seriously considering doing this at least once a week. So if you get benefit from this live stream, just if nothing else, hearing other people's questions and my answers and other people's responses, whatever, let me know down in the comments. You know, it doesn't even have to be this video. You could just reply to any video and just say, hey, I saw one of your lives, and you know, would love it if you did it again. Because if enough of you are enjoying this is so much easier for me as a creator. I promise you, sitting in front of a computer and talking to you guys for 2 hours versus 20 to 30 hours of putting together a video, I'll take that all day. So, and plus my wife brings me tequila. So yeah, so please let me know if this is something that you guys want me to start doing regularly, and we'll do that. We'll just, you know, we'll figure out a good time that works for the majority of people, and we'll knock them out. But I love the questions, so I definitely want to keep them coming. Let's see. When does a lot of this Gil Garcia. Apparently the processor doesn't support Windows 11. That's why I was asking about Linux. Can't afford to buy a new computer. Yeah, a lot of us can't. I don't know if anybody's addressed this yet, but I did. If you go look at my last video, it's literally showing how to upgrade your existing Windows 10 to a Windows 11, even if you have unsupported hardware. Now, is that a good long-term solution? Well, depends on how your Windows 10 machine is running. If that processor issue isn't a make or break for performance-wise, I'd give it a try. If it works, great. Then you just saved yourself buying a new computer. If it doesn't, you can roll back to Windows 10, start saving your pennies, and get you another one. But at least give it a try. Zachary Nelson, could I turn a USB drive into a security key like a YubiKey? Good question, and that's one I probably should have asked before I asked for a YubiKey for Christmas, which I got and haven't set up yet. I don't know. I'll have to look. I won't even say don't think so, because I think I've heard somebody say that before. I think you can have a passkey stored on a flash drive, and it will act as a security feature. As far as whether it works like a YubiKey, it'll probably work similarly. In other words, that it's kind of like if you save your master password into an encrypted file on a flash drive, and you got to plug that in. Kind of the same thing, but YubiKey has a lot of more advanced features. But I think you could probably do it. I'll have to look into that. Email me that question. Do that for me, if you would, Zachary. Just email me that question, askyourcomputerguy@gmail.com, because I want to look into that. It's a really great idea for a video, and if it can be done, I'm 100% down for figuring it out. Angel, thank you for your videos and live chat. Thank you for sticking around through all the craziness trying to get this live stream up and running. I appreciate it. Rick, hello, my friend. Thanks for sticking around. Kirsten Elhart, I hope I pronounced that right. Everyone, greetings from Denmark. Nice to see me without editing. Yeah, I know my wife gives me crap about the whole max headroom thing, but thanks for stopping in. In the news today, data breach, Google, Apple. I haven't heard that. So I'm curious about that. I haven't heard anything about that, but I've also been sitting here trying to get this stupid live stream working. So, JS, thanks for the reply. Excellent work with these sessions. Keep up the fight. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Okay. Yeah, Rob actually brings up a good point. The best way to have no battery issues is to remove it and install it when needed. In an abstract way. I mean, a lot of people get a laptop and leave it sitting on a desk plugged in 24/7, and that is going to degrade the battery. If you don't need to have the battery, then remove it. But the problem is a lot of these. Hang on. See, back in the day, you could just pop, and this battery comes right out. Right? Can't do that now. Now you have to basically take the entire bottom cover or sometimes the entire machine apart to get to the battery. So if you can easily remove the battery, yeah, 100%, that's going to make it last a lot longer. But Fred Sunderman used your video instructions to update a 7-year-old laptop to Windows 11, and it's working fine. Awesome. I love to hear that. Thank you. That's why I made that video. Michael, thanks. Then I'll stick with Home Edition, not upgrade to Pro, and I don't worry about TPM. Cool. Can't see me. I got a benefit from hearing an old school fellow gamer help me out. Maybe we weren't wasting our time back then after all. By the way, I drink JD. Well, I did do Jack for a while, but Jack did not like me. I'll just leave it at that. Luke Filewalker, love this. Yes, do more, please. Haha, I'm sipping on bourbon. Well, my wife gives me a 1 tequila shot per stream limit. Oh, there's some left. Hang on. And I think she does that because she doesn't want the stream to go all damn night. She's like, if you want more tequila, you have to end the stream and come drink with me. So, you know, it's a trade-off. But, yeah, tequila, if you guys haven't figured out already, is kind of my thing. Chris Jones, hey, Scott, I'm a huge user of Linux, but when I want some Windows advice, this is where I come. Thanks for all you do. Well, Chris, thank you for that. And, you know, stick around in the comments because I get a lot of people asking me Linux questions, and I'm not a Linux guy. I know enough about Linux to be dangerous, but I like to be able to say, ask your question, and somebody in the comments who is a Linux user and isn't a total tool hopefully will help you. And that's what we want, is we want people to say, I like this or I like this, but you know what, I can help him and he's going to help me in return. So I appreciate the comment, and definitely stick around. I like seeing people who are Linux fans, but not rabid Linux users, because those people are sometimes really, I'll talk to my moderators, but I'm sure we've probably already eliminated several of those rabid comments. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Where are we at? Tony D, I love your shows. You're extremely helpful, and I share them with everyone. Also, ask them to subscribe to you. Thank you, Tony. That is how we build this channel. Is if you find something useful, you might know somebody who would also find it useful. And everybody loves to play Cupid, right? Especially if your sister's calling you all the time. You can be like, just watch this video. Just watch this one. He'll answer it. So thank you again. I appreciate that. Let's see. Darren, thanks for Flyby 11 video. Could not work my hard drives. AMD. Did it not work? Okay. Could not see my hard drives. Try putting one about. Okay, what am I missing here? Wally, do you offer consulting services for troubleshooting? I used to, and then my channel got big. I started partnering with a company out of Phoenix in the USA, in Arizona, that handles basically anything that can be fixed remotely. In other words, if you have a working computer, you have internet access, and you have a problem, you can reach out to them, and that they take such a big load off of me, because if I did that, especially with 200,000+ subscribers and literally, I can't even tell you, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails a day with people like you guys asking me questions, and then on top of that, I've got a local business and a wife. There's just no way. Just literally not enough hours in the day. So I've partnered with these guys. They are really sharp. The contact information for them will be in every video. So if you go into any video description, including this one, and look for, well, it may not be in this one because go look at my last video, any of my other videos. If it's like, if you need troubleshooting, there's a phone number in there, call them, and they're fantastic. They're a great bunch of guys. I know the CEO. We've talked, we've had conversations. I grilled them, I vetted them, and I made sure that if they helped my viewers, that they were going to basically give the same advice that I would give. So again, any of my previous videos, look down in the description and you'll see that. Thank you for the question, though. Let's see. Sassy Puppy, my laptop would not work at all without battery installed. Yeah, that's not good. Laptops are designed to work with either or, both. The only time I guarantee it won't work is if it's neither. That could be an indicative of a potential charging issue. I don't. Could also be a DC jack problem where the connection actually plugs in, that like somehow the charging circuits only work with the battery plugged in. But it's definitely not normal. Insomniac Doomer, I found your channel a little while ago when I was having problems with my computer. I watched a bunch of other channels saying the same simple solutions, but yours was the one to actually help me in the end. Thank you. I appreciate that. I have worked really hard to try to make things easier for people to understand. And there's a gazillion tech YouTubers out there. I mean, I could think of a handful just off the top of my head that they talk at this level. And what I've really worked on doing is trying to talk at this level and use layman's terms, use analogies. Kerry does the same thing. Kerry Holtzman, he uses a lot of analogies, which I can relate to because people connect with analogies. It's like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. I understand that. So I do appreciate that comment, and hopefully I'll continue to make videos that help you out. Well, hopefully you don't need help, but if you do, hopefully I'll be able to help you out. Let's see what else we got. Okay, XDS Master Mia. How can I delete pics off my phone and make it so they get off Google too? I'm always out of space. Well, that's not really my thing because I use iPhone and I just pay for extra space because I'm lazy. So that's an option, is you could just buy extra storage space. Google is backing up your Android because that's what it's supposed to do. What I would probably do is just anything that you can download off your phone, through your Google Photos, download it to your computer and store it offline on a flash drive or something like that. That's absolutely going to clear up some space. Or if you don't want to mess with it, you can spend $1 or $2, I think, a month and just buy the next storage level up and just never worry about it. But those are both options for you. Interesting. Rob says, I've noticed a lot about stuff over the EU as far as computer warranties and stuff. I've heard a lot of people talk about that. He goes, maybe in the US there are other rules. Over here in the EU, well, in the Netherlands, we still have the possibility to remove the battery because of safety issues. I am 100% in agreement with that. I think that's one of the worst things. Well, okay, from a technician standpoint, I think it's one of the best things because now most people can't just pop a battery out and replace it, which means they have to pay me to do it. But from an end user standpoint, FRUs, field replaceable units, or things like that, the end user could just pop right out. I think the whole EU, UK, you guys have got it figured out. The US is way behind on that. So, but yeah, 100%. I think that's the way it should be. Oh, Kit, there you go. Google Photos has an automatic backup option. So turn it off and they wouldn't upload. But again, if you're running out of space on your phone, that's not going to help you clear up any space. So you might want to go through and maybe delete those old, dinner photos that you don't care about anymore. Okay, cool. Mike Quentin, is Windows to Go a good extra option? I don't know enough about it to answer that. I just don't. Um, I can research it, but I guarantee you there's probably 20 people in the chat that probably know more about it than I do. It's just not something I dabble with. All right, Luke Fire. Can I not say your? You know what? It's because the damn tequila. Luke Filewalker sends a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Great channel. Videos are superb. Love it. Thank you for your support, my friend. I really, really appreciate that. Yeah, can't see me. Luke Filewalker. Awesome name. It's just, that's like wins the channel today. Let's see. Hey, ask your computer guy. I can't add my AirPods on Windows 11. The add device button doesn't work. I've restarted services, installed drivers, toggle Bluetooth. Any fix? Okay, well, I'm going to assume that this is an existing Windows 11 installation and not you upgraded from 10 to 11. If it's Windows 11 and the add device doesn't work, can you connect anything else? Mouse, a TV, anything else that will work, or phone with Bluetooth? That'll tell you if the Bluetooth part of your computer works, because if you can't connect anything, it's not your AirPods, it's your Bluetooth. And then that's a whole different ballgame. But if everything else works and your AirPods don't work, it's probably your AirPods. Let's see, Gerald, I bought a reconditioned ProBook with 22H2. Update says get newer version to stay up to date. Your version has reached end of service. What should I do? I assume that's Windows 10 22H2. Yeah. I'm not sure if you saw the video that I made about the Windows 10 end of life. If you have the option to upgrade to Windows 11, definitely do that. If you want to stay up to date. If not, you can pay for extended service updates through Microsoft at $30 for the first year, and I think it doubles the second year, and so on and so forth. But go back and look at those videos, specifically the Windows 10, so you know your options and the potential ramifications of staying on Windows 10 versus upgrading to 11. If you want to go to 11, and you can, then do that. If you want to go to 11 and your computer won't support it, then I made another video, my last one, my last video that wasn't taken down by YouTube. The last video I have shows you how to go ahead and upgrade to 11 even if your computer's unsupported. Tony D, would you know of any technicians that do CPU pin straightening? Oh, goodness. Before my eyesight went to crap, I could do it, but I can barely see the screen in front of me now. I don't know. That's a very specialized thing, because I'm not even sure who I would call. Start calling around your local shops. There might be somebody that knows a guy who does weird stuff like that off, just on the side. But honestly, you have to weigh that versus the cost of replacing the CPU. If a guy charges you $400 to fix a $500 CPU, I'm not sure that's money well spent, because there's no guarantee it's going to work after he does that. Trunks, can I switch to Windows 11 without losing files? Yes. As I said a minute ago, my last video that's up shows you exactly how to do that step by step. Don't need a flash drive or anything like that. Just make sure that you've got your data back up, and if your computer can run it, it will run it, and you won't lose anything. Just follow the steps and make sure each step of the way that you're right there with me. Okay, so OffSec, this is regarding the Bluetooth issue. Existing 11 installation, I can connect mouse and keyboard. Okay, well, then my first reaction would be, it's the AirPods. Doesn't mean that's the right one, but can you connect those AirPods to somebody else's or another computer? What we're trying to do is just eliminate the problem. So you can do other devices, so you know your Bluetooth works. And it may be an Apple thing. I've seen it, like when I've tried to connect my iPhone to my computer, that sometimes I have to go download a specific driver, which seems silly to me, but maybe that's part of the problem. And Apple support, or at worst, the Genius Bar at your local Apple store might be able to help you. I'm not sure. Did they work before and now they aren't working? But either way, I would test them and make sure that the AirPods are good. So then you can say, I know the Bluetooth is good. I know the AirPods are good. Why isn't Windows letting those two communicate? And then that's where the Genius Bar, they might be able to figure it out. I use an iPhone and an iPad, but that's it. I don't use AirPods or headphones or any of that stuff, so I'm not 100%, but it's just hardware. So you just got to figure out what works and what doesn't. John, is Telegram a better cloud storage? I mean, I'm still going to encrypt my files before I upload. I don't trust Google because mine got deleted by Google and all my files gone like nothing. I know a lot of people that use Telegram. I don't know that they use it for cloud storage. I use a Synology NAS server for my cloud storage, which is here on site. The only cloud storage I use off-site is my pictures and stuff on my iPhone, and honestly, there's not anything really on there that I haven't backed up that I care about. So if it matters to me, I store it on my Synology. So I'm not sure if I trust Telegram. I don't know. I think a lot of shady people use Telegram. I'm not saying everybody that uses Telegram is shady. I'm saying a lot of shady people use Telegram. So I'm not sure 100% I would trust it. Rob, be honest. Most of us know Windows 10 or Windows 11 is still based on Windows XP. Yeah, because they haven't really changed the core. It's been like that forever. Windows XP, Windows 7, 8, 1, all that. Everything is just the interface built on that core, the kernel, which is part of the reason why Linux users can't stand Windows, because of the architecture, the way that the kernels are separated, and the way that they work, and as far as security and things like that. Windows just, you've heard the expression lipstick on a pig. That's kind of what it is. I mean, there's new features, like the same difference between Windows 11 and Windows 10. And Windows 11 is Windows 10 with some cosmetic changes. There's no real performance increases that I've seen. But yeah, it is what it is. That's why there's so many people really wanting to go to Linux. Let's see. cool. Fred, these live set. Oh, I can't. Ooh, I almost said a tequila word. These live chat sessions are great. I'd love to see more of them. Cool. I appreciate that. I'm seriously looking at doing this more often, especially. I mean, I got 108 of you in here and 1,200 people who viewed this in the last hour and a half. And for me to be able to answer y'all's questions is just fantastic. And don't give me grief because I said y'all. What's wrong with SMB1? Why their device isn't needed? Older NAS server and yeah, there's a browser to support it. I'm not sure of that question. Okay, I can connect the AirPods to another laptop and my other phone, but not my desktop. Question is, I would next ask is, did those AirPods work before or have they never worked? And honestly, I mean, I know it's an extreme case, but if they worked before at one point, you might want to just, save yourself a trip to the Apple store, which they're not going to probably do anything with your Windows PC. I would just back up your stuff, wipe your computer, start over, or at least you knew it worked then. And then, and then at least, you'll have your AirPods again. Interesting AirPod question, though. Okay, what can we do, Barbara? What can we do about free remote desktop if we don't have a work or school account to use the Windows app, the Windows RDP, the remote desktop? AnyViewer, ANY viewer.com. It is a free utility. It works fine. The only difference is with AnyViewer is, unlike, for example, TeamViewer, which allows you to have a what's called a persistent connection, meaning you don't have to log in. You just click it and it opens it. AnyViewer is per session. So if you opened a session and you wanted to connect and someone was on the other end to open that connection, you could stay connected all day. If you're wanting a persistent connection, unfortunately, those cost money. And AnyViewer does that too, but it's way cheaper than TeamViewer. But yeah, AnyViewer.com, ANY. And I'm affiliated with them, but I just go to AnyViewer.com and check them out. I use that a lot of times when somebody says, hey, can you just take a look at my computer real quick? And boop, boop, just a couple numbers and log right in. Let's see. Bluetooth install, restart your computer, let it automatically install. Okay. Use Windows Remote because it's fast and free. Okay, those AirPods worked before. I've never dropped them, and they were completely brand new, and it's third AirPod model. Maybe I'd have to force myself to reinstall Windows completely. Yeah, that's... okay, look, to be fair, if you're paying for somebody to do that for you, I can understand the resistance. I've had to do that before where certain programs, for whatever reason, just wouldn't work. And I was like, screw it. I'm going to wipe the computer. I know it works. And then at that point, go and create a clone after I get everything back up and running so that I could, at worst, go pop that drive in and I know everything works. But I don't charge myself labor. So there's that. Let's see. As a tip, your audio level pretty low. I'm connected to receiver and system, so no problem. Used crank it on my end, but some headphone users have limited options. Yeah, I'm still trying to. Honestly, I got this Rode mic a while back, about 6 months ago. I'm still trying to learn. Sometimes I talk a little low and I'm away from the microphone. Sometimes I talk louder and I'm closer. So I get that. It's a lot of times I'm trying to be quiet because my wife is working across the hall during the day. So instead of this normal YouTube voice, I'm trying to talk more like you were sitting right here in front of me. So I'm going to work on that. Let's see. Oh my God. I think I'm caught up. What are some good ways to disable or delete the bloatware that I hear Windows 11 has? Rich over at Cyber CPU Tech just released a video about this. And I'm actually, I don't know if you guys know Chris Titus. Chris Titus Tech, he's been in the industry for forever. He made this tool that I am really interested in checking out. The Chris Titus tool. I don't think he got nearly the publicity that he should have, because this tool is amazing. So I'm going to probably make a full walkthrough on that on a recently updated Windows 11 computer. Old Linda Lenovo, if you guys watched my last video, we just upgraded her to Windows 11, and it's got bloat, for lack of a better word. But it's not just bloat, it's a lot of telemetry and stuff like that. Bloat you can just remove going through your settings and apps. But it depends. If, for example, some people would consider the Xbox utilities that are in Windows 11 to be bloat. Well, they're not bloat. They're just programs that you're never going to use. Bloat to me is stuff that is hidden behind the scenes, that's slowing your computer down, that no services that are running that don't need to be running, and things like that. I'm going to go through and I'm going to see, like, how can we make the thinnest, lightest version of Windows possible without damaging the operating system. And I would like to check on that. So I'll probably be making a video about that soon. Cool. Offsec, thank you for letting me know. Like I said, I have to, sometimes I'm a little louder than I should be, and sometimes I'm a little quieter than I should be. So I apologize for that. Yeah, Rich's tool works great. So yeah, definitely. I can't even remember what it was called. Oates, if you can, I just watched this the other day. Excuse me, guys. Hope that wasn't really loud in your ear. Jim says, still running 20 minutes behind. 2x speed is a challenge. Well, unfortunately, by the time he catches up, we'll probably be wrapping up here shortly. Gerald, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for showing up and, watching my stuff and supporting me. I appreciate that very much. Gabriel, show is good. 100. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. And hopefully, this next live will not be a cluster like this one was. I was trying to get everything exactly the way it's supposed to work, and it just all fell apart. So interesting. John says, my PC always goes blue screen of death, sometimes garbage, glitch display. I suspect it was my RAM, and only one brand of RAM works. And it's from China, called wall RAM. I tried other RAM, nothing worked, and I don't have a GPU. I have never seen. I've never seen a speed or volume of RAM that you couldn't replace with dozens of other brands. I mean, all the big guys. If it's PC4 19200 at this clock speed and this amount, that same memory will work, whether it's Crucial or PNY or some China brand or whatever. Send me the information. Send me an email. askyourcomputerguy@gmail.com. Send me some information about that computer and or that specific memory stick. Let me see if I can point you to something that physically should work. But definitely send me information about the computer, because like I said, I've never seen, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying I've never seen a computer that this brand of RAM is the only one that works, and this one that's identical won't. It just doesn't make sense. I'm not saying you're wrong. Just let me help you. Can't see me. Thanks for the live stream. Very glad Google found your channel for me. Oh gosh. What were we Googling when you found me? That's what I want to know. Hopefully it's computer related. I haven't Googled myself in a while. Yeah, offset, please do. Like I said, my default answer is generally just go with the thing that I know will fix the problem. You don't want to spend 40 hours trying to troubleshoot something that you could knock out in a couple hours with just a quick Windows reinstall. So that's going to be my default, but maybe there's other options. We'll look. Charlie, thanks, Scott. Have to run. Great stream. Look forward to a lot more live streams. Hey, listen, buddy, thank you. I'm going to try to do some more of these little just 2-hour streams, and if you guys like them, then we'll keep going. So we'll see. But thanks for stepping in. Thanks for stopping in, not stepping in, stopping in. Thank you, Karen. Okay, hey, I don't know what Google says about me. I don't look. I haven't looked in 20 years. I don't care. Let's hope it's nothing y'all find out. I'm just kidding. Well, I'm praying that I'm just kidding. All right. Well, we're getting close to our 2-hour mark, and unlike our good friend Kerry Holtzman, who would go another 6 hours, it's time to wrap up for the evening. So I want you guys to reach out to me in the comments if you have more computer questions, or if you have a suggestion for a live stream. Like, let's do a live stream about just this, or suggestions like you guys said, my volume, if it needs to go up, down, whatever, I'll kick my wife out and start talking louder, whatever. I want to get in the habit of doing these live streams because they're, again, so much easier, and you guys seem to really be enjoying it. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to go get another one of these, and I want to thank each and every one of you. Sorry, real quick, Martin, go ahead. Enjoyed your input on Kerry's show. Quick question. Make it quick. No, I'm just playing. Go ahead. Luke, thanks so much. Again, thanks for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate that support. It really does help. Thank you. And we'll hopefully see you next time. Offset. Heading out now. I'll be going to send you the email right now. I enjoy these live and see what all the people are experiencing. Yeah, it's me too. Let's have some fun with it. Let's make it a routine thing. I'm 100% down for that. All right, Martin. You said quick question. Yeah, all the fun, no editing, for real. Wish you well, brother. Have a good 100 days from today. 100 days from today. Yeah, thank you, buddy. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming in. Thank you for the show. Tony, thanks for sticking around, man. I hope it wasn't torturous for you guys. Insomniac, great live stream. Very informative. Keep up the good work. All right. Still waiting on Martin's question. So we're going to give it about another minute or so, and then Martin may have to just put it in the comments, and I'll deal with it. So anyway, yeah, guys, if you have suggestions, if you want to talk about something for, make a dedicated, let's talk about X for an hour or two, or if you just say, hey, there's some questions I'd like to talk about, we'll do that 100%. Here we go. After upgrading laptop to Windows 11, the taskbar delays in loading. Okay, if it's a delay, like you are not seeing all the icons, go do the Windows update. I've seen that, like if you turn off your internet or turn it on, off, whatever, go back and make sure you do your Windows update. Then it should populate the rest of that taskbar. I have seen that several times. But usually it's because I have the internet turned off, and then once I turn it on and activate it, then all the icons appear. So if that's what you're talking about, that's how to fix that. Let's see, probably was when ads start. Oh, I forgot that there's problem with the volume is when ads start that they, I'm sorry about that, guys. Show's great. All of them are. Thank you for your service. Hey, thank you, Tony. I appreciate it. Guys, listen, I hope I get this kind of, if I get this kind of turnout every single time, you definitely are going to see me again. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. It does help. Honestly, it does help. And I probably will, I'm going to consider start doing live streams where, subscribers only can comment, and may even take it up a step further and do either a Patreon or some membership service, maybe a Facebook membership, to where it's dedicated for my biggest supporters. So, hey, want to shout out to Kit for really helping out with the moderating the live stream. So, all right, well, guys, look, I'm going to wrap up. If you have any questions, leave me a comment somewhere. If you can support the channel, that'd be great, but it's not necessary. I love helping you out. If you have a question, email me at askyourcomputerguy@gmail.com, and I will answer it. It just may not be immediately. And if you have the need for a upgraded computer, and you just say, forget all this the upgrade stuff, or the updating and blah, blah, you just go ahead and get into the computer. If you go look in each of my videos, there is a computer recommendation form. You can click on that. It's going to ask you a series of questions. It's a little form, and then it will tell me exactly what you need, and then I will point you to that computer. It's 100% free. I don't charge for that. So if you guys, if you need that, or if you just say, I don't know what to do, let me know. Let me help you. Okay. So, let's see, most recommended computer. I am the most recommended computer person on all of Reddit. Oh, I'm not sure if that's true, but I hope so. So, thanks for the stream and your knowledge. Hey, listen, I'm happy to help. So I appreciate. Yeah, there you go, Kit. Thank you so much. That's the form. Kit just posted it. If you guys are looking to buy a new computer, click that form. Send me an email. Tell me your budget, your time frame, all that. I'll be happy to help you out. Tell me what you have and what you're upgrading from. So. Okay. All right, guys, I'm wrapping up because it's time. So thanks again, and we will see you next time.